It always comes to this. More nice shit. Hello there guys, back again to do another tattoo progress update today. Where I last left off, I had showed off the bright red and black that we did around the roses on the rose sleeve here. We will of course be doing that on my neck and shoulder as well. Probably get to that in a few weeks. It healed up really nice. The black did more or less what I hoped it would do. It's obviously not as black as fresh black, but it's held up pretty dark, and it's done the effect of enhancing the leaves and the roses. They still have this kind of glow to them. That was kind of the desired effect I had when we first did the black shading around them, but I don't think we went kind of exaggerated enough with it or dark enough. I think we tried too much with like kind of whip shading off of them, and I think that the multiple layers of red and black and all the shit that's underneath of that just kind of ate it up and made the attempt a little bit less satisfying than I would have liked. It did have this sort of rust red sort of look to it, but I think going with the really hard black and then kind of fade out was a better call overall. And of course we have this nice bright red, which is very, very red in places. Some spots denser than others, and that was the desired effect. We wanted to create the look of a bright red in different spots along the sleeve to kind of give light in areas and kind of push and pull the eye. And so the red itself was only like a half an hour, maybe a little more than a half an hour, where the black was a couple hours. But it has the effect of really pulling things apart. And I plan on doing more of that here tomorrow with Terry. I have another session coming up. We're going to be doing the bright, like light blue highlights in the edges of the roses everywhere, and then the gold and the thorns again. There was some dark brown added into these thorns as well when we did them, but I don't think that needs to be done again. I think that just doing the yellow gold tones will do a lot to pull them forward, and again it will kind of pull things apart more with this sleeve. And from there, yeah, just doing up the neck in the same exact way, and the shoulder. So probably another 2 or 3 sessions for everything. Probably 2. I don't imagine that we'll have to do 2 separate sessions for any of the stuff up top. So yeah, did really well. I finally been able to put my wedding ring back on this hand. This hand is finally almost fully peeled, and with that, both fingers are nearly done healing. There are obviously some weak spots over here, and that was very intentional, or not intentional, but very expected. Again, that knuckle did the worst of everything, but once everything's fully peeled, it's still quite a bit better than it was the first time, or not first time, the third time. And you know, it is what it is. I'm not expecting perfect. I'm happy with the result we got, and I'll be really happy when Rick and I come and fill the rest of this red up to here, because right now it does look pretty trashy in my own opinion. It's not driving me nuts, because as long as I know where we're going, it's not a big deal. There's a plan in mind, and obviously there's a plan in mind because the red just kind of stopped there for the day. We'll probably be getting back at that in a few weeks. Yeah, so I had another session with Rick here today, and we hit some spots that were bothering me. I've got some things on my kill list still. I think we need to do another pass through here and maybe another pass under here, but things are coming along here. Again, like, it's kind of all about just getting it up to like that level or up here. And I think that we're going to get that for the most part with this stuff now. And went heavier on the yellow tones this time because the yellow tones seem to stay pretty bright. And though there were yellow tones throughout this sleeve all along, I think getting them to that bright point is kind of key in kind of illuminating things and also adding contrast where there is so much blue and purple throughout this sleeve. We're actually doing this session 2 days late. Normally I have my session with Rick on Mondays when the shop's closed, but Rick went golfing on Monday, so we planned to do Tuesday, but the old boy got heat stroke, so we didn't end up getting our Tuesday session in, and then even this session was pretty short. But I did tell him that these things were bothering me the most. These suction cups here were the weakest part of the whole sleeve in my estimation. There is some other stuff that's pretty weak down around the wrist and arm here, or hand here, but the part that was bothering me the most was in the connection point. And it's a little hard to give Rick constructive criticism sometimes because he has been doing this for so long. He has that kind of old dog ego, but like, it's with the intention of let's get this done in a way that, you know, we've got most of it laid out and put in here now in session 60, believe it or not. And for those who have been following along, I've been saying more or less since the start, or rather since the start, that this would be between 60 and 80 sessions. I think we're going to get up to that 80 sessions. I don't know if we'll need much more than that. We're going to be in the armpit again here, working on the creature this coming week. I think we've got another session or two in there. I think we'll probably have it close to done in 80 sessions. And that sounds insane, and I am very aware of the fact. I'm also aware that I think this could be potentially the longest ongoing tattoo project on any one sleeve that's ever been done. I can't think off the top of my head of anyone who's had more sessions on a sleeve. I've had people call that into question. I've had people ask me how long we're sitting for, and the answer is anywhere from an hour and a half to 4 has been typical. But even then, no matter what way you want to slice it, if you get to 80 sessions on a project, even if you're doing 2 hours at a time, it's 160 hours. And we haven't really done much less than that. It's just that this sleeve has been so intricately detailed. Every part of it has got so much going on. You know, when I take this thing outside, it's crazy how many colors you can see in it, how many different tones. It looks so wild in the direct sunlight. It actually looks more colorful than it looks indoors. I used to find with my blackout, I hated outdoor lighting with blackouts. It made your black look like patchy and weird. It's because the light really does bring the eye to every little detail. Cameras focus in on every single thing they can find, and so it really it would illuminate any flaw you had or any scar you had in your black. Whereas with these crazy color over black tattoos, there's so many layers and so many little individual high points and low points in this work. You really have to be close up on it to see it, but it is pretty crazy just how much shit is packed into this. And so as long a road as it's been with Rick, and as tumultuous as it's been and annoying as it's been at times to do this with him, it really was the sleeve that I wanted it to be because I've worked with him for it. Most people, and obviously I've been patient, and I don't think many clients would want to do it. I see people give up with Rick all the time. I've seen people tap out during black and gray sleeves that would only take 10 sessions with him. You know, they get lost somewhere along the way, and then you don't see them for years. I see that shit all the time because that's just the way Rick is. I knew that going into it, but if I had done this with any other artist, really anywhere in this city or almost anywhere in the world, there would have been shortcuts taken, and there would have been details, you know, that wouldn't have got put in and things like this. Because for as bad as Rick is to deal with sometimes, and how particular he is with his methods, he puts more detail than is necessary into anything he does. And to say that, it's like, that's why I can do my back piece with Terry in 8 sessions, and I'm working on 60 sessions with Rick on this sleeve. It's just a lot more elaborate. Now, he's also less efficient than Terry. Let's not be too kind to the man. But it's like, good things take time, and for a sleeve, I don't mind doing that. I don't want to spend 60 sessions working on my throat on the same project. If I end up doing 60 sessions on my throat by the end of my life, it will be multiple different neck tattoos and things like this, right? It won't be one big project. I don't think I would ever sign myself up for that. And it's not to say that I couldn't do it, it's that I wouldn't do it. Same reason why I went with Terry for my back piece and a much more elaborate, or a much more simplistic design. I didn't want to be laboring away on that for the rest of my life, so I went with the more efficient and also the more efficient artist and also the more efficient approach, which is a big, bold piece. Which also, by the way, sometimes is better. Like this sleeve is needlessly detailed, and most of these details, most people will never even notice. So you can see here, up here, we have the detail exactly where we want it, and we're gonna have to come back through here still and do some more of that. And we've been doing that over and over again on my elbow, and it just doesn't work that well. So you can see it everywhere in this sleeve, even in the places that aren't 100% up to par with the rest of the pieces on it that are where I want them to be. Everything has been done in an efficient and incredibly meticulous, layered, like every single part of it has been built that way. And nothing on my back was. Not one part of it was textured that way. Same thing with the rose sleeve. There's no texture work done here. And I'm not saying there needs to be for everything, but for this, I did want there to be. I didn't want the streamlined version. So, in defense of the man, and I've been at my wit's end with him several times. I was kind of at my wit's end with him again Tuesday when he told me he had heat stroke. It was like, oh, for fuck's sake, Rick. But we've gotten so far on this project, and it will be the last thing we work on together, at least for a very long time. I may give him a piece or two on my legs. I haven't really decided yet. There's a couple ideas we've talked about. We've talked about trying to do like mostly white and black on black werewolf on my legs somewhere. But like, I know what anything is with him at this point, and so I don't know how many more of these I want to do with him. And it would never be personal, and it's partly because we're good friends, and I deal with him here at the shop every day, that it gets a little hard to be his client and his sort of life coach and boss at times. He needs a lot of support as being an older artist. He's not as good with technology. For example, his computer went down today, and I've been having to try and fix it for him the whole day. And truth be told, I should be home right now, but I figured it's better to just finish it up tonight and do everything I need to do at the shop today than it is to come back in the morning. And I've been working on trying to help him get back up to speed all day. So I end up doing a lot for this guy. He's the person at the shop that needs the most support from me of all the artists. And that's just generally the job. You know, everybody here has different needs, and people ask me sometimes what I do here, and it's honest to God, like, I responded to emails all morning, I lasered a girl, I edited photos, I made posts, I counseled some artists, I helped stencil, I helped placement, then I did some more fucking emails, and then it was dealing with Rick's problems all day. But sometimes it's dealing with the other artists' shit too, right? So it's just kind of a catch-all job, and it's a really ethereal thing, and it's a lot less strenuous than my old job being, kitchen manager. It's a lot less hands-on, but it's a lot more constant. There's always things going wrong, and there's always fires you're putting out, and there's always things you're troubleshooting. And by the end of the day, sometimes there's not much left of a day, and that's kind of any business that you're running, I'm sure, but this is a very different thing. I was told coming into it that it would be a little bit like herding cats, because artists all have their own egos and their own things that they need, and it's not like dogs. It's not like dogs at all. It's much more like cats, much more diva-like. It's like managing a stable of rock stars sometimes. And they're all very particular. And today has been very much about Rick. And so when he blows me off sometimes, or when he's fucking me around or taking forever to do something, sometimes it's a little different than it used to be when I was just his client, because I'm also his boss. So it's a hard balance. But anyway, I'm not going to carry on too much about that. As I said, I have another session coming up tomorrow, and looking forward to that. Working with Terry and working with Rick is completely different, so, and thank goodness for the difference. Sometimes it's all that's saving me here. Anyway, I'll be talking to you guys again here tomorrow. Hopefully I'm going to go home now and finally get some rest. I've been at the shop for 13 hours today. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day.